Yo, 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 we is back. That like button, the Cash App, the PayPal, the Zelle, MoneyGram. You know what I mean? Yo, nobody's bigger than the program, yo. A lot of people think, a lot of people think that term came from gang banging, and that term came from the government. That term ain't come from gang banging, yo. You gotta remember, yo, the government was the biggest gang first. I mean, it was a gang before gang banging even became a thing. Politics. The biggest gang in America. People don't want to have that conversation though. See, that's the conversation that gets you targeted. Yeah, when you get to talking like that, that's when they start playing with you. That's when they start playing with you. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. I'm talking about the program, man. Nobody's bigger than the program. I think Chirlie, Kirk thought he was bigger than the program, man. The one thing I learned about this internet and about, you know, just having a voice and being an influencer or just speaking out. That you cannot say what you want to say without consequences and repercussions. I learned that shit early. Early. That's why I always say, yo, when you got people like Umar Johnson and Charleston White and those niggas, and to see how they be talking, and there don't be no consequences, you gotta question them, yo. You gotta question them, man, because this is how this shit work. That's how it work. And I told y'all to a certain extent. To a certain extent, it has to be that way. What's up, G? North Memphis. It has to be that way, y'all. Because I always tell y'all the narrative is important. There's people that want to control it. And they will do whatever they got to do to control the narrative, man. Including murder. Censorship. All censorship was controlling the narrative. People got too big. Voices got too loud. Got to silence these niggas. It ain't just niggas. It's people in general. You always talk about censorship, yo. They always talk about Alex Jones. And he wasn't the only one. There's a few of them. Kicked them niggas off the internet. Voice too loud. Too influential. That is a problem in the United States of America, y'all. That's what people need to understand, y'all. If you're too influential and you're not in this working with the system, you are a problem. And even if you're too influential and you're working with one system and not the other, you are a problem. Like, it's a tightrope, yo, that people was following, man. Yeah, yo, nobody bigger than the program, yo. But people thought that was a gang thing. You know, people thought that was a gang term. No, it ain't no gang term. That's a real term. Hell yeah, bro. Yo, they don't play that shit, man. You can't just be out this bitch speaking freely. Man, fuck no, yo. It's not reality, yo. That's why, yo, see, this is a prime example of what I always be talking about. When I be telling y'all about certain shit and certain people, I always be telling y'all. hit that like button. Always be telling y'all. Be very careful. Know what you're watching. You know what I mean? Sean Johnson, what's up, man? Know what you watching, man. Because they ain't gonna let you get bust so big. You see how they play with me over here, y'all? Because they know. See, some of these people slip through the cracks. They slip through the cracks by, what's up, They slip through the cracks by displaying something different. And then they get up and then they transition to something else. But me, I came on the internet like how I am. You feel me? So when we coming in like this, they gonna stall you. The best way to do it is to come in one way. And then if you really for the people, then you come in on bullshit, then you transition to the people. But that was your agenda the whole time. But when you come in like how some people come in, talking against the system, man, they gonna make it hard for you, man. And if you manage to slide through the cracks, watch what you say. What the fuck, Austin? Type of shit you on? Hey, Austin, hit the cash app. Hit the cash app, Austin. Cause you done lost your motherfucking mind. And Cashmere. What the fuck, Cashmere? Wasn't you here earlier? Trolling? Yo, but the bottom line is what I want people to understand is, yo, nobody is bigger than the program. Nobody. Not me, not you, not what the fuck the name? Chirlie, Kirk, none of them. Nobody bigger than the program, man. Yo, what happened to this man was fucked up, y'all. Yo, what happened to this man was fucked up, man. They killed that man in front of the world. Yo, but I think right here,
the birth of a new legend.
I think this is a sign. You know, I think this served as a deterrent, similar to like they did with Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You know, it's a deterrent. You know, yo, watch what you say, man. You feel me? Yo, watch what you say, yo. I'm telling you, these people don't play for yo. This was horrible, yo. I ain't never seen no shit like this in my fucking life. They really assassinated this man, yo, because of the shit that he spoke on and whatever and what he stood on. They assassinated yo for that. Yeah, we haven't seen nothing like this since fucking, you know, the 60s, 70s. You know what I mean? Like, this is equivalent to what they did to JFK, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Fred Hampton. You know what I mean? Shit like that. So do I look mixed? Bitch, hit the cash app, man, if I ask a dumbass question. Yo, before you ask a dumbass question, hit the cash app first. But we ain't answering that shit. Yo, but this was horrible, y'all. Like, this is a horrible... For real, Karina. This is a horrible situation, though, y'all. All jokes aside. Like, they really killed that man. And more than likely, I wouldn't agree with nothing he said. But this ain't even about that. This is about humanity. But I just want people to understand, y'all. Nobody's bigger than the program, y'all. Nobody. He thought he was bigger than the program. He had to. He had to thought he was bigger than the program. That's why they did that to him, man. Yeah, yo. You can't get too political. Yo, they don't want you speaking on politics, yo. Flat out. Nobody. You know what I mean? That's why I be trying to tell y'all. Like, I don't just be talking. A lot of people think I be talking. I don't just be talking, y'all. I'd have been shadow banned for 7 years on Facebook. Like I told y'all my Facebook days, yo, when I was speaking out how they used to do me, yo. I got demonetized for putting a video out about how I rap and the prison system are the same people. Like, yo, it's certain shit, yo, you just gotta stay away from. And when you get too big enough to where so you can sway public opinion, yo, you are a fucking problem. You might be the #1 problem. You heard me? you might be the number one problem, man. Like, that's how they gonna treat you, man. Just like how they treated people back in the day. I mean, black extremists is the biggest issue in what the fuck they say? Black extremists was the biggest threat to national security, man. They said that. That's why there'll never be another one. You know what I mean? That's why when you got people like Umar or these Charleston Whites, and, man, you got to question them boys, man. That's not how that shit go. Oh, see, look, I didn't even know that, Karina. You said they say he was the white Martin Luther King. Red flag. I'd be like, yo, don't call me that. Yo, that put a target on your back, yo. Yo, matter of fact, let me show y'all. Do y'all remember this? Let's go to this. Alex Jones, before we get to Shorty. Because Alex Jones is public enemy number one first. Sandy Hook. They took Alex Jones to trial for this shit. Alex Jones is the first one. Alex Jones was the first one that got too big. What's up, Shara? And I think he was the example. He was the catalyst. Like, yo, we cannot allow another person to get this big. Unless he with us. Like, yo, you gotta be with them, yo. Like, that's how this shit work, yo. I know people don't like to hear that and think it's a conspiracy. And even if you is with them, it's still two sides to every story. You feel me? So the other side might get mad that it's a dirty game, yo. Politics is a dirty game. That's why I always tell you, that shit worse than the streets. Politics is worse than the streets, man. Try not to speak on that shit. Alex Jones.
Is this your verdict, the 10 of you who signed it? So say each and all of you, all 10 of you. All right.
I don't know exactly what's going on, but the official story isn't true. And so the preponderance, I thought they had some scripting early on to exacerbate and milk the crisis.
Do you understand now that it was absolutely irresponsible of you to do that?
It was, especially since I met the parents and
yo, he had people riding, protesting, saying the shit was. He was the first example, yo. Early on, see, yo, this is what I be trying to explain y'all, man, with this internet shit, man. Though the feds and the United States government tapped into social media on day one. On day one, I showed y'all the videos. They extorted them. Yo, because they need to make sure that with this new wave of media, that, yo, we are in full control. And the minute they lose control, things like this happen.
% real, as I said on the radio yesterday, and as I said here yesterday, it's 100% real. And the media still ran with lies that I was saying it wasn't real on air yesterday. It's incredible. They won't let me take it back. They just want to keep me in the position of being the Sandy Hook man.
You're going to see video that proves that they actually... 12 days ago, your attorneys messed up and sent you an entire digital copy of your entire cell phone with every text message you've sent for the past 2 years.
You know what perjury is, right? I just want to make sure you know before we go any further. You know what it is.
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm not a tech guy. I told you, I gave in my testimony the phone to the lawyers before or whatever, and so you've got my phone, but we didn't give it to you. I never intentionally tried to hurt you. I never even said your name until this case came to court. I didn't even really know who you were until a couple years ago when all this started up. The internet had a lot of questions. I had questions. And over that 6-7 year period before I got sued, or 6 year period, it's clear. You can see the whole progression of us, the few times we covered it. trying to actually find out what happened. A big frustration is that the people have said that I'm personally trying to hurt them or coming
Know
after
what this
them.
was about? Compromising them. That's all this was about, y'all. This was showing him that you're not bigger than the program. That's what this trial was, y'all. To show Alex Jones that you're not bigger than the program. I don't give a fuck how many people support you. I don't give a fuck how much money you got off this shit. Yo, we can take you down too. Watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth.
I question every big event, and a lot of times it turns out that we've not been told the truth. This is the weaponization of the judiciary. It's absolutely horrifying. This is a witch hunt. This is a show trial. This will go down in history as one of the greatest show trials ever to happen, not just here, but even in places like Nazi Germany. Here, she says, I'm guilty until proven guilty. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, listen, if you want to be bamboozled and lose your First Amendment and lose your Seventh Amendment and lose all that, go ahead. You're having your rights to a trial by jury to decide if you're guilty or innocent stolen from you. This is a kangaroo court. This is a political action. It's a witch hunt. I'll be back later.
Man, they sued that boy for I think they sued that man for $1 billion. Now I doubt if they ever get it. But I want y'all to show how big he was, man. They probably took it off of YouTube. This nigga was huge, man. He was the first one, y'all. Yo, you know what's crazy? Yo, weren't we just talking about him a couple of days ago? Yo, weren't we just talking about him a couple of days ago? Look, you can't even find that shit on the internet. They didn't wipe the claim. Only thing you can find of this nigga is the trial. And you can't find none of this shit where he was going off and going crazy and had all them people out there. Nah, I want to find a video. This was a deposition 6 years ago. Let's see what he said right here.
There's one in America.
It's all political, y'all.
We are here tonight. This is turning into a great.
It's all political, y'all. It's all political. Yo, but politics is dangerous. Politics is dangerous, man. Very, very, very dangerous. And you gotta walk a fine line, man. And even when you walk that line, you might make people mad. Because I told y'all, like I just be trying to explain to y'all, yo. I've been telling y'all this for the longest, yo. And I'm gonna keep telling y'all this until people really understand this. Your media is manipulated, and the narrative is important. You know what I mean? Media is manipulated. It always has been. And the narrative is important, y'all. And they can't lose the narrative, whatever the narrative is at the time. You feel me? When Black Lives Matter was a thing, if you spoke out against Black Lives Matter, they'd shut you down, man. You feel me? When the thing was Trump is racist and he trying to do this. I'm talking the first presidency. If you spoke up for him, they'd shut you down, y'all. Depending on what side of the equation they was on. Like, this is how this worked. I've been in media for a long time, y'all. And I think I got a pretty good understanding of how things work, you know. And I ain't never reached the level of these people. So I know it gets scary up there. I know Candace Owens somewhere is scared to death. I know, did Candace Owens do a video yet?
I don't remember what you're talking about.
Sure.
the things you talked about yesterday is you complied with discovery, right? So that on the witness stand?
Did Candace Owens do a video yet? Probably not. But you probably can't find that shit nowhere. Look, 2 hours ago, look, he's still fighting. 2 hours ago, Alex Jones asked U.S. Supreme Court to hear appeal of 1.4 billion. They see that man for 1.4 billion. Yo, it's a number of ways they can get you. It's 2 ways they'll get you, yo. They can knock you off, or they get you like this. Yo, that man ain't got 1.4 billion dollars, man. Do y'all think Alex Jones got access to 1.4 billion dollars? You feel me? Yo, is there anybody he can get that from? Yeah, he was dead wrong. I'm just showing people it ain't about what he did. He was dead wrong for calling that shit a hoax when it was real. I'm just showing people, yo, what these people do to you when your voice gets too loud. That's the purpose. When your voice gets too loud, yo, something got to be done. It is what it is. Is it right? Fuck no. But it's America. And when you moving like this, yo, you got to be aware of that, yo. Like, I'm sure biggest yo was, they probably warned him. He probably got a warning. Cause I don't believe in no that's just my opinion. They probably told him, look, man, you're getting too big. No, watch what you say. Just like they did Malcolm X. Just like they did Martin Luther King. You can't find nothing on that shit. Nothing. Only thing you find on that shit is lawsuits. They didn't scraped it off the internet. Okay, CNN got it. Let's see what this says.
Is making up a heinous lie about tragic deaths something you can be sued for, or is it covered by freedom of speech? That's an issue being
He's
litigated
talking bad
in a
about
case
them
in
too?
which the parents
North
of a
Memphis?
child killed in the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School are suing InfoWars host Alex Jones for defamation for his repeated claims that the massacre is a hoax. Here's a sampler of Jones's assertions that the family finds actionable.
The official story of Sandy Hook has more holes in it than Swiss cheese.
I'm sure
My
they
gut
did,
tells
yo.
me the White House, people controlling the governments were involved in this. So don't ever think the globalists that have hijacked this country wouldn't stage something like this. They kill little kids all day, every day. And it's not our government, it's the globalist. I mean, they're doing it. They're staging it.
In court, Jones's lawyer admitted, quote, maybe it's fringe speech, maybe it's dangerous speech. That's not defamation. That's rhetorical hyperbole at its core.
Let's see if Candace Owens did a video. And what I'm trying to, it's not about what he's saying, y'all. It's about the support that he garnered about what he was saying. That's the part that people need. It's not about what the person is saying. It's about the support. You can say whatever you want to say, as long as 5 people watching. But the minute you got 5 million watching, oh no, you's a fucking problem. You are a huge problem. You feel me? The minute you got 5 million people watching, yo, and you talking opposite of what they want you to talk, yo, you are in the way. You in the way. Let's see if Candace Owens did something. She probably didn't. She probably fucked up. She probably trying to figure out. Yeah, she ain't did nothing. She probably trying to figure out what's next. I know she fucked up. Yeah, she ain't did nothing. I want to hear from Candace Owens, y'all. I hope Candace, I don't want nothing to happen to Candace. I like Candace Owens, man. I don't always agree with her. Kirk said black people were better off in slavery. Jesus Christ. Like, and that means, and this is not a guy I would ever agree with. But I still don't think he deserved to be murdered for his fucking political views or how he viewed life. Like, he shouldn't have been killed for that, man.
Better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
That's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that
in the last
affected
80 years.
the generational psyche of an entire group of people?
Well, I'm sure it did. I'm not discounting that. I'm just, this shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed.
Well, he's not even qualified to speak on what's going on in the black community. Not even qualified.
Did it was a good shooter, a sharp shooter. It was one shot right directly to the heart, and we need to find out who did this. I think there should be a research completely done that took place hours, maybe a day before anything went on. Who could be there and pull that trigger and do it? And I don't think it was George Sim. He was poor, broke. He was on medication, a little bit of loony boon. Maybe a perfect person to pick and say they did it, but I don't think he did it at all.
So at this point, but did you see him taken into custody? Did you see him with any kind of thing in his hand, any device in his hand or anything like that?
Yeah, I saw when they actually put the handcuffs behind his back.
Okay.
I followed them.
All right, we're going to go to Jason Chaffetz. Obviously there's going to be a lot of theory.
They cut him off. they cut the nigga off. Oh, you made too honest. Oh, they cut his ass off for that shit.
This is the guy that shot him?
Yo, why do they got this guy all over the news and he ain't even the shooter? Like, how did this happen? You understand what I'm saying? How did they got him all over the news and he's not the shooter? But we ain't got no video of the shooter getting arrested. Y'all don't think that's strange? But look, let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all the wildest video. Look at this video right here. And I'm going to pause before the shots get fired. But look at this video. Look at this fucking video. Look at this shit. This going to fuck y'all head up right here. No, not this one. Look at this one. Now look at this guy, y'all. Look at these guys. And I ain't on no conspiracy shit, but just pay attention to these guys. Now I'm gonna pause this before the shots get fired. But look at this guy and look at this guy. Look at what they do.
Transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Five is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have
You see him? Tipped his hat.
been in America
Grabbed his nose.
over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting?
Look at this guy. Look, you see him? As soon as he did that, the shots got fired. Now, I'm not going to show y'all the shots getting fired. We'll start it back over because that shit too graphic. But check them out again.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Five is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
Soon as he did that shit with his arms, shot get fired. Now I don't know what to make of that. I think that is very strange. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that was a signal or it just happened by mistake. But what y'all think about that? That don't look strange to y'all? Who does that? That hat looked like it was pretty. That hat looked like it was on pretty tight to me. Ain't look like he needed to fix it.
Do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
That hat tight as a bitch. That hat does not need to be touched. You feel me? That hat does not need to be touched, man. That bitch fit like a glove.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Then look, what is he doing with his hands? What the fuck is he doing? Sign language? Was he what they call them motherfuckers trying to do sign language? Yeah, what they call them people that do sign language, y'all? Like, is that his job? He looked like security. I ain't never see this type of guy with a black shirt on doing sign language. No, yo, interpreter. What, he was an interpreter? No, not interpreter. Y'all know what I mean. We're gonna watch it one more time, y'all, because I just want to make sure I ain't tripping. I think all of those movements are very strange.
How many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm gonna give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Like, what the fuck was that? He could have been. Maybe he's speaking it to the deaf. You know, you don't typically see him in all black with shades on. You know, he looked like a bodyguard to me. But yeah, I don't know about that. It's a little wild. A little strange.
This shows they were actually better.
A little strange to me. Yeah, you're right. He definitely wasn't. You're right. You're right about that. He wasn't interpreting because he wasn't moving at all before. You're right.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
He was too
That is
radical,
a
man.
prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this.
He was too radical, y'all. He was too radical. I think that was the issue. Too radical. It isn't such thing as being too. I'm too radical. You feel me? But I don't got millions of people watching me, and they gonna make sure that shit never happens. You feel me? He slipped through the cracks somehow, or he was working with the system and somehow I don't know, yo. I don't know what happened. I just know it's fucked up that he got killed that way.
They live in a complete alternate universe. So then how do you reduce? Very simple. People say, oh, Charlie, how do you stop school shootings? I don't know. How did we stop shootings? I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year.
Man, I don't know who did it. Let's see if they got the most recent update. I know one thing. I knew he was dead. I knew he was dead as soon as that shot got fired, for certain.
Drop whatever you're doing right now. The Wendy's $8 JBC meal deal is here.
Yo. Yo, whenever you can gather up, whenever you can rally the people by being radical, you're proud. That's why they tried to kill Trump, for the same reasons. I mean, it's the same reasons, yo, radical views. It don't matter if it's right or left. You understand what I'm saying? It don't matter if it's right or left, yo. They'll get you out the way for that shit, man.
That's 2 junior bacon cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium drink. So you better be on your way. Bacon waits for no one.
I want to know.
The number one.
I'm radical. You know, I say some of the wildest things on this bitch. You feel me? So I get it, but you gotta know what come along with it, yo. When you speaking like this, yo, death is almost imminent. And when you speaking like this, Death is almost imminent in the United States of America, bro. Y'all. You can't talk like this, man. That's why I say for the people that get away with talking like this, watch them. Something ain't right. Cause you can't do this. You can't do this, man. Can't do it. Not in America. I know they say it's freedom of speech, yo, but speech ain't free. Yo, we learned that already.
New developments in the shooting death of political activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI announcing just hours ago the person of interest they had in custody has been released. Police now conducting an all-out manhunt for the shooter.
A new video shows the chaotic aftermath of that shooting on the Utah Valley University campus. And this video shows the moment the gunshot rang out while Kirk was speaking to students. We've paused it before.
It's not about him being a white supremacist, y'all. Like, whites, whatever. I'm not even worried about him being a white supremacist. This ain't about white supremacy. Because they do this, they did it to Malcolm X. It's about getting too big. That's what it's about. It's about radical views. It's about gathering support of millions. That's what this is about, y'all. That is an issue in the United States of America. I don't give a fuck if you racist. I don't give a fuck if you black. Yo, it's like it's against the law. It's against the law in this country, man. You can't get this big talking this radical on either end. On either end, yo. You're a problem, man. You're a problem when you do this.
But witnesses say the bullet hit him in the neck. Late tonight, police say they believe the shooter fired from the roof of a building in what they're calling a targeted attack.
President Trump announcing tonight that Kirk's death earlier today, also posting on video on social media.
An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations.
They go try to get him again too. I don't think they done. Yo, we live in a wild time in America. You know, history repeats itself, y'all. That's one thing I learned by reading the Bible, yo. History repeats itself. Everything that was done in the past will be done in the future. He ain't off the hook.
Generations to come.
Kirk grew up in the northwest suburbs, and tonight those who knew him are remembering him.
But this violent incident also sparking another conversation about the political violence our country has seen in recent years. ABC 7's Eric Hong in studio with us tonight after speaking with someone who knew Kirk in the early days of his political activism. Eric?
Robin Cheryl, before Charlie Kirk became a star in conservative politics, he was an outspoken teenager who grew up in Arlington Heights and Prospect Heights. He volunteered for local campaigns and found support among suburban Republicans who saw
He wouldn't be my MLK. I mean, he probably was MLK to some people. He probably was MLK to some people. But you see what happened to this is all I'll be trying to get people to understand, y'all. When you go this route, be careful. That's all I'm saying. Nobody is safe when you go this route. You're not safe. Your life is in jeopardy.
potential to be a national figure. At a young age, Charlie Kirk impressed others with his tireless work ethic and ability to connect.
Big plans, big vision, but willing to back it up by putting in the time.
Marco Sukovich of Lincolnshire worked with Kirk when his now powerhouse political organization, Turning Point USA, was in its infancy, operating out of a garage below this one-room office in Lamont. Around 2013, along with fellow young people who'd volunteered for the campaign of suburban Congressman Bob Dole, Kirk sought to engage young people.
A generation that kind of had really no one on the conservative side or on the center right
young support
communicating
too?
to them in any kind of effective way.
Kirk graduated from Wheeling High School, District 214, saying, "Charlie will always remain part of our community. We are deeply saddened by his passing." Cook County Republican Party Chair Aaron Del Mar says he first met Kirk when the young conservative was in high school.
He was too
I just thought, hey, this is a kind of a cool kid, a kind of go-getter. It's really shocking because I know Charlie not from Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels, but I know Charlie the person. I know his family. I've had to spend a lot of time with him, and he's always just been a really good guy.
Though Kirk's views often angered many on the left, his death drawing universal outrage. Former President Barack Obama writing, "This kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy."
Political violence, unfortunately, has been ratcheting up in this
Yeah,
country.
hell
It's got
yeah,
to stop.
Chase.
And
Politics is dirty. I keep telling. And I've been on. Yo, how long have I been on here telling people your politics worse than the streets? Yo, politics is dirty, man. Dirty, dirty, dirty. They will kill you, man. For real. Like it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke. You know, it's a dirty game. There's no snitching in politics and getting away with it. Politics is the streets. You ain't lying. The streets emulate politics.
I think there are people who are fomenting it.
Northwestern University professor Eric Nisbet has authored papers on political discourse and divides and fears political violence has been normalized.
I think it's polarization and dehumanization, right? Our political rhetoric is not only about our political differences nowadays, but it's about dehumanizing the other, where they're less than human.
Voice too loud.
Kirk leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. He was living in Arizona, but friends say he remained connected to the Chicago area. Cheryl.
Eric, thank you for that report. The president tonight blaming the shooting on rhetoric from what he calls the radical left. As Eric did mention tonight, we have seen a series of acts of violence recently targeting people across
That man just said that black people was better off in slavery. Nah, he was radical. He about radical as they come.
Political spectrum. Last summer and fall, there were 2 assassination attempts on President Trump while he was running for re-election. Last fall, then Vice President Harris's campaign office in Arizona was shot at 3 times over the span of a month. And then in April of this year, the Pennsylvania governor's mansion was torched. Then in May, 2 Israeli embassy workers were shot and killed in D.C. Less than 2 weeks later, a dozen people were injured in a flame-throwing attack at a pro-Israel demonstration in Colorado. Then in June...
Damn. Fuck, did they report this shit? Oh, the fuck up, y'all. Yo, have y'all heard any of these stories before? Let me go back. Was y'all aware of all these stories? A flame-throwing event? Who knew about that? Yo, who the fuck knew about the flame-throwing event? I didn't know that. I don't know how I missed that. That should have been all over the fucking place.
Humanizing the other, where they're less than human.
Kirk leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. He was living in Arizona, but friends say he remained connected to the Chicago area. Cheryl.
Eric, thank you for that report. The president tonight blaming the shooting on rhetoric from what he calls the radical left. As Eric did mention tonight, we have seen a series of acts of violence recently targeting people across the political spectrum. Last summer and fall, there were 2 assassination attempts on President Trump while he was running for re-election. Last fall, then Vice President Harris's campaign office in Arizona was shot at 3 times over the span of...
Did y'all know about that? Did y'all know the vice president office was shot at 3 times? Maybe, I don't know, yo. Maybe we are being distracted. Because I ain't know that either.
Then Vice President Harris's campaign office in Arizona was shot at 3 times over the span of a month. And then in April of this year, the Pennsylvania governor's mansion was torched. Then in May, 2 Israeli embassy workers were shot and killed in D.C. Less than 2 weeks later, a dozen people were injured in a flame-throwing attack at a pro-Israel demonstration in Colorado. Then in June, a Democratic Minnesota state representative and her husband were murdered. A Democratic state senator was shot and injured. And just last month, hundreds of rounds were fired at the CDC headquarters in Atlanta as a police officer died in that incident. All 8 of these incidents happening in the past 14 months. 5 were in the last 5 months.
You say around a what? 404?
It's got to stop. And I think there are people who are fomenting it.
Northwestern University professor Eric Nisbet has authored papers on political discourse and divides and fears political violence has been normalized.
A dozen people were injured in a flame-throwing attack at a pro-Israel demonstration in Colorado. Then in June, a Democratic Minnesota state representative and her husband were murdered. A Democratic state
Why
senator...
they calling it a flame-throwing attack? So what did he say about... Hold on. Sounds off on the media. What did he say about the media?
Now, joining me now to respond is Turning Point USA founder, Chirlie Kirk. Chirlie, it's great to see you. You heard Van Jones. He called you a race monger, said you're the only one that brought up race. What do you say to Van Jones?
Well, first of all, as you aptly noted, that in the video, it's pretty clear that the attacker said, quote, that white girl. Secondly, Van Jones, he puts race in almost every
situation. Ain't no such thing as free speech, bro. Yo, free speech don't exist, man. That shit was a lie. It's no such thing as free speech. There, yo, for the people, y'all didn't witness my lives get cut off. Yeah, I mean, several times. Ain't no such thing as free speech, man. You can't say what you want. I know it sounds great, yo, but you cannot say what you want on this bitch. It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon, man. Everything you say comes with a cost.
Where it doesn't exist. For example, with the death of George Floyd, Van Jones repeatedly said that it was a racist attack. You know who didn't say that? Keith Ellison, who was the Attorney General of Minnesota at the time, said that race did not play any role in the actions that happened with George Floyd's death. But even beyond that, and I think this is what's very important, is that we are living in a mental model and a framing post-2020. The 2020 model is that the worst thing that could possibly happen is racial attacks. Remember, even before that, Jussie Smollett or the FBI being mobilized for even the slightest whisper of a hate crime. But now, all of a sudden, when we make the left live up to their own standard of rules, there is complete silence by the entire American media. And then Van Jones goes on television and calls me a race hustler for even calling out the facts and the specifics around this
and that's
case.
How I feel.
Now,
like, I know I wouldn't agree with most of the things he's saying, but my thing is, yo, he don't deserve to be killed for it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, he didn't deserve to be killed for what he's saying. But it's not about him, y'all. That's all I want people to understand. It's about the support. They don't want him changing people's perception. That's an issue, yo. That is an issue in the United States of America, yo. That's what this whole video is about. Yo, when you got the ability to change people's opinions, change people's perception on a large scale, you become a threat to national security. That's how that shit work, yo. I mean, at least in their eyes, you know. In some people's eyes, so when you get that big, you are now a threat. You are an enemy of the state, of the country.
this is what's quite interesting, because why is it the media was so quiet on this? You got to wonder, Will, because if the roles were reversed, and I tweeted this out, I will stand by it. If a white attacker was minding his own business and a perfectly law-abiding black individual was minding her own business, and that white attacker took out a knife and was relentlessly hacking a law-abiding black girl, you and I both know, Will, this would be national headlines, and there'd be more than 0 headlines, as you pointed out on your show yesterday. And so Van Jones, he wants to keep on trying to find racial motives that they don't exist, and he ignores them when they're in broad daylight in front of him on recorded video in a horrendous attack such as this. The media doesn't care about
this. This is a false narrative too. That wasn't no racial attack. Something was wrong with that boy, man, that did that to that girl. Did y'all see that situation? That fucking guy killed that girl on the train. That shit was horrible, man. That wasn't racially motivated. That man got mental problems.
This, and we should start asking why.
That's what I'm saying. He was too radical,
Chirlie? Why?
Too radical.
I mean, it doesn't fit a narrative. This is my most charitable reading. The narrative that they have pushed forward in the last 10 years is that there is a relentless assault against black people on behalf of white people. And the data does not show that. You brilliantly pointed this out on your program yesterday. In fact, it's the exact opposite. White individuals are actually more likely to be attacked, especially even per capita, by black individuals in this country. The narrative that they have tried to force feed this nation post-2020 is that we are a systemically racist country to our core. We started to say the word racist more. We started to redesign our corporations. We started to teach things in our classrooms that were from the 1619 Project. And all of this has now been met with an appropriate backlash where people said, we're actually not nearly as racist as you say we are. In fact, we're the least racist.
So he was driving the force of what they call it, black fatigue. Was he one of the ones that was pushing that line? He was too radical, y'all. He should have known he wasn't gonna be able to do this shit forever. He should have known he wasn't gonna be able to do this shit forever.
Country ever to exist in the history of the world. And in fact, if you want to actually talk about race-focused activity, why is it that you then ignore all the race-focused activity of black on white crime? Will, I want to live in a race-neutral country. I don't like talking about race all the time. But when I see it, and I see the left ignore it, and we try to make them live up to their own standard of rules that they force-fed us during the chaos of 2020, it really goes to show the destruction that this can lead to the entire nation. And the final thing I'll say is this, Will, is that this is more than just a semantic argument. This is more than just whether or not it's a race thing or not. Bad policing practices, consent decrees, opening up the prisons, as you say, $3.3 million is an outgrowth of a media narrative lie. So it's not just an innocent media narrative lie. Real policies get put into place when you don't challenge this nonsense in the public square.
That's it. That's very, very well said, Chirlie. Race is a part of this story, not just because of the media's lies of omission. Race is a part of this story, not just because of the potential words from the suspect on the light rail in Charlotte. Race is a part of this story because of the policies implemented by a racial lie post-2020. And that's what we need to remember today. These are a consequence of a lie.
Yeah, yo. He was playing a dangerous game, man. He was playing a dangerous game. Damn. I want to go to some of y'all. I don't really want to hear his speeches because I know all they're going to do is piss me off. But I can just tell based off what we saying that he was way too vocal. Let's see what these people had to say.
Morning, as we do come on the air with a developing story, as you've been hearing out of Utah.
It is, though,
and
Frank.
as you've been hearing from CBS, conservative
people should have known. Yo, people forgot censorship. Yo, they censored us, man. Yo, that like I think people don't really understand how big that was. Some people do, a lot of people do, but some people don't really understand how big it was when censorship started. Like you literally couldn't speak on Black Lives Matter. You couldn't say nothing about Biden. You couldn't say nothing about LGBT community. You couldn't say nothing about shit. You could say nothing about politics. Y'all don't remember that? See, I was on internet, so I remember. Yo, you could not speak about politics. No go. And somehow he slid through the cracks and he got too big. But that never went nowhere. You understand what I'm saying? They ain't never went nowhere. They don't want you speaking on politics. If you ain't a politician, don't say shit about politics. Straight up. Like that's the harsh reality of it. If you are not a politician, they don't want you speaking nothing about politics. It don't matter if you white or black. It don't matter if you white or black. This one of them situations. This ain't that. This ain't racism. This is politics. Politics, is colorblind. You feel me? You can't speak about certain shit, y'all. That's just how this country works, man.
Activist Charlie Kirk has died after a shooting at Utah Valley University. He was shot while hosting a debate-style event. The shooting happened in the middle of a crowd of people as Kirk was addressing the group of people.
Look at all them people. This man is dangerous. to their eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Look at all these people that come here to this one man speak. That's like fucking Martin Luther King. It's like Donald Trump. No, yo, he too powerful. He got to go. The harsh reality of this country, yo. When you get powerful like that and you working against another whatever, then you got to go, man. It's sad for real. It's sad for real.
Shot was fired, hitting him near the neck. Students say they were terrified after experiencing this up close.
Everyone's just like scared.
People,
like it's traumatizing. Like,
how many people
you know,
is there?
it scares. Like, I'm gonna go to school tomorrow, you know. Yeah. So I agree with that. Yeah, I'm scared to go to school.
Yeah, but this was an example, y'all. This was an example. You know, they set examples in this country. That's what they did to the black community all through the 60s. Martin Luther King was an example. Malcolm X was an example. Fred Hampton was an example. Huey Newton was these were examples, man. Don't go this route. Now he's an example.
Charlie Kirk was a rising star in conservative politics and a fierce ally of President Trump. The president posted on social media saying in part, quote, "No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us."
It's unclear whether there is a suspect in custody. A university spokesperson says a possible suspect was taken into custody but then released. We'll be sure to update you when we have more.
I don't even think it's necessarily truth, because I don't lie. It's not truth. It's just your voice too loud, man. Voice too loud. When your voice loud like that, you're gonna ruffle some feathers. Now, a couple people spoke out about this. Candace Owens spoke out. She said it was unbelievable. I think I saved it. Did I? Fuck around, didn't. Fuck around, didn't. Shit. Damn, y'all. I hate when I fucking do that, man. Now we watched the press conference. Hit that like button, y'all. Yeah, and he was young too. That made him worse. You galvanizing the youth with radical ideas? Oh fuck no, man. You ain't no way. Not in America. Not in America, y'all. And he going to college just to do it. Hold on, that's too long. We ain't watching that. Let's go to his YouTube page. Talking about the NFL. Van Jones. Washington State woke mob. Oh yeah. What he had to say about Epstein? Talked about abortions. Yeah, he was too political. That nigga spoke on everything. Trans shooter, anti-Christian hate, crime confirmed. Yeah, he pissing people off. He pissed a lot of people off. Trump saved black lives, and somehow the left is mad. The new Confederacy has waged war on America. Yeah, he was geeking, y'all. He was way too radical. I'm just looking at the titles. Y'all, I'm moving closer. I'm just looking at the titles. He was raised. What did he say about Israel? Talk about Hillary Clinton. Oh, yeah, he was. He must thought he was the president. Charlie Kirk, Israel.
I'm pretty sure, based off the content that you've produced, that you're evangelical Christian and you subscribe to dispensationalism. Is that correct?
Not necessarily, no. I'm very sympathetic towards the
care, y'all, because
view.
To me, y'all, it's not about his political views. It just shows that, yo, in this country, yo, you can't say what you want. That's a problem. When we've been told this is the land of the free and freedom of speech, and we've been told a lie, because obviously you can't. I don't really care about his views for this particular. Of course, I'm more than likely I don't agree with nothing he says. But you shouldn't be murdered for it, man. That is crazy. He got on a sniper shirt. This was 5 months ago. That is mighty strange. I ain't even peep that. That's wild as a motherfucker. That's wild.
So let me just pause you. This is going to go over a lot of people's head. Okay. So if it's okay, let's keep this short, if that's okay, because this is a very wonky theological topic. But yes.
Well, that's not a. So
it probably to do with Israel, maybe. Is that okay? Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So
how did I know?
That's the only thing.
Can I explain what dispensationalism is to the audience?
Go ahead.
Okay, so dispensationalism is a view in evangelical world, of which I'm very sympathetic towards, that God has an unfolding plan for the end times. Dispensationalism is typically what is called pre-trib, pre-millennial, which means that there is a rapture, meaning that God will bring home his faithful in a pre-tribulation, pre-millennialist, before the reign of Christ, 1,000 years over earth, before the 7 years of trial and difficulty. Did I do a good job summarizing dispensationalism?
That would be correct. I personally subscribe to covenant theology, and I wanted to read you some verses from the New Testament, just get your opinion on
those.
We
got to go quick. This is going to go over a lot of people's heads.
Romans 2:28, it says, "For he is not a Jew, which is one who is outwardly, but he is a Jew which wasn't." Apologize. Which is
Right. So this is Paul writing in the book of Romans. Romans basically is the believer's constitution. You're right.
Circumcision of the heart.
Basically, yes, exactly.
That's true, yeah.
So there is a debate. Here is the debate, and then I'll just let you ask one final question. The debate is this, everybody, in Christianity. And Catholicism is very clear. The question is, when Israel is mentioned, is it the metaphorical Israel or is it the literal Israel? And so part of Christianity, mostly Catholicism, who I have great respect for, my wife was baptized Catholic, they would say that Israel becomes the church in the New Testament.
They say he arrested. Then I just seen a video said that they want information to lead to an arrest. That looked like the same guy that was in that video with the shades on. That did the little hand gesture.
Was reformed as well.
All right, look, we got 199 people here. What y'all think about this? I want to go back to this video again. What y'all think about this video right here? Because this video seemed mighty strange to me. Look at this video. Look at this video. Look at this guy with this white hat on, and look at the guy with the black on. What y'all think about this? Now, I'm not even gonna give no opinion. I just think it looks mighty strange.
Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Look at him.
Too many.
Look at this guy.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you
No, not him.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America?
See what he did? Yo, he didn't need to pull that. That hat is tight as a bitch. And he couldn't do nothing else with that hat. But look,
Counting or not counting game.
look at him. What is he doing?
Violence.
As soon as he did that, the shots went off. Look. Soon as he did that, the fucking shots, yo, that is strange. I'm not gonna get no opinion on it. It just looks strange to me.
Reformed Baptist, 5-point Calvinists, some of which
Presbyterians.
Sure, but let me just finish, okay? Whereas more of the view I'm sympathetic towards is that the scriptures are.
That looked mighty strange to me, man. Oh, I gotta leave out because I don't want to show. I can't show the shooting. The shooting happened right after the guy with the black on did what he did.
Transgender Americans have been mass shooters.
That's the same guy, right? So that was his bodyguard.
10 years.
Too many.
Okay, now 5 is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Come on, y'all. Who does that, y'all? Yo, it's always these, like, why it's always like that? Yo, who does that, y'all? That man tipped his hat, grabbed his nose. Then look at the other guy. Then look at him. Look at him. Now, as soon as he finished, the shot go off. Man, Utah, they need to send the National Guard to Utah. They need to send the National Guard to Utah, man. Utah out of control, man. They got snipers on the roof out that bitch.
Are very prophetic towards a literal and direct meaning, and that the nation and the reconstitution of the nation of Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. It's not a metaphorical, it's a literal playing out of God's plan. Yes, sir.
And
Final point, yes.
My response to that would be that there are pretty much the entire New Testament, verse after verse, that goes against that position. Matthew 3:9, for example, Romans 9:6, Matthew 21:43, Revelations 2:9, Revelations 3:9, Galatians 3:28, John 8:39, Ephesians. It's all over the place.
Right, and there are equally as many verses that could be on the other side. That's why I'm not a theologian. I just know what everyone believes, and I tilt towards one way or the other. I'm not here to prove you wrong on that, despite what the sign says. Because I says, if you still take Jesus as Lord, then you and I are going to see each other in heaven. Here's my whole opinion on the end times, everybody. Pre-trib, post-trib, I'm pan-trib. It's all going to pan out on the end, okay? I'm not on the planning committee. I'm on the welcome committee of Christ's return, okay?
Yeah,
and I think in that way, it's not the most important thing to be discussing.
Can
Yes?
I continue just a little bit? The reason I wanted to bring all those up is because it's mainly goes to your support of Israel. I feel like that if you take that theology away, that cuts that from the knee. And I also wanted to read some verses from the Talmud.
You got to be okay. So that's fine. I do want to wrap this up. However, can you tell me what the Talmud is?
So he was against the Bible. He was against Israel. He was against the Democrats. Yo, he was too radical. There was no way this was going to last. It was no way, yo, this was going to last, y'all. He was too radical, y'all. He's like Malcolm X.
You know, Patriot Mobile stands for faith, family, and freedom. But did you know they have cutting-edge technology?
Too radical. Let's see if we can find some more. Yeah, I'm sure they told him. I'm sure it was situations where they like, yo, hey, Chirlie, you need to slow down a little bit, man. You know, because that's how they operate. You know, that's the game. Doing a little bit too much. Probably thought it was a game. You know, because we ain't saying nothing like this since what? JFK? Like they haven't had too many of these type of assassination attempts or assassinations. Look, the Civil Rights Act has led to more crime. What the fuck? Yo, was tripping. Y'all see some of these titles? Hell yeah, they try to get Trump. I don't even think they done with y'all. I don't think they done with I don't think they done with y'all, man. Obamagate. Talking about indictment of Obama. People off. He didn't piss some people off for sure. And he was going to colleges. That's probably where he went wrong. He went wrong by going to them goddamn colleges, man. He went on the whole college tour. Swaying public opinion. That is a violation in this country. If you get too big. Trans war on language. Abortions. Yo, hit that like button, y'all. They put a lot of video. The real reason anti-George rhetoric is on the rise. Let's check this out.
Let's go to the first question. That is, I believe, Bonnie. Bonnie, thank you for being a member. Members.charliekirk.com. What's on your mind?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Bonnie, how are you? What's on your mind?
Oh, it's wonderful to finally talk to you, Charlie. It's the first time I've been able to join.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing, Chandler. We don't. Yo, we don't. We don't have the right to debate and speak what's on our mind, yo. No, you don't. Not on this level. That's the point of this video, man. That's the whole point of this video, is I want to get people to understand how this thing works. It's not what you think, man. It's very controlled. It's very manipulated. You know, when people slide through the cracks, it's a reason. But even when you make it through, you still gotta play by the rules. You gotta play by the rules, man.
Thank you for all you're doing for our country.
Thank you.
Charlene.
My question, my young adult son's eyes were open to a lot of the lies during COVID.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Dangerous. It's dangerous. Like he was dangerous, man. Now I know some people might agree with what he was saying, yo, but he way too far right. Probably made a lot of people uncomfortable.
That made me thrilled that he's questioning things. But now I'm hearing things from him.
I don't know. I'm definitely. He didn't deserve to die. Fuck no. I don't never want people. Yo, nobody deserves to die for their political views. Regardless, if I agree with him or not, you do not deserve to die. To me, for your political views. But there is a large percentage of the United States of America that don't feel that way. They don't feel that way. Because it's about the narrative, y'all. Yo, people gotta understand the narrative. Y'all been talking this shit for at least a year now on YouTube. The narrative is important. It's probably the most important thing. And the minute they lose control of the narrative, yo, that is to them, That is a threat to national security. It's a threat. Why you think was it 94% of the media is owned by 3 companies? That lets you know, that statistic alone lets you know how important the narrative is. 94% of the media, it might be higher, it's owned by 3 fucking companies, man. I ain't gotta say nothing else after that. You can take that information, you know, a lot of people know that information, but people don't really think deep into it. Yo, that is major, man. That's major. That shows you, yo, we have full control. We'll give y'all 3% or 7%. 7% ain't moving no needles. But when you got a person like this who shit, he probably took up a nice percentage of that 7. He might have took 2% up on his own. That's dangerous. That 2% is dangerous to the 94%.
It makes me fear for his discernment. For example, he expressed some anti-Semitic takes on history that maybe Hitler's motives for wanting to be rid of the Jews weren't so wrong, even if how he went about it was evil. And my fear is...
Remember they clipped my live for that? Y'all remember my live got clipped for that? Who was on my live when they got clipped for that? I ain't even gonna... You know what that is. Who was on that live when I got clipped for this? Let me take it back.
History that maybe Hitler's motives for wanting to... Hearing things from him that it makes me fear for his discernment. For example, he expressed some anti-Semitic takes on history that maybe Hitler's motives for wanting to be rid of the Jews weren't so wrong, even if how he went about it was evil. And my fear is that in going from one extreme to another, trusting the mainstream media and government to now questioning or distrusting everything, he's believing different lies. So I'd like to know where he's getting these lies. I've heard a little bit about the Groypers from Not the Bee. I'd never heard that term before. So my question to you is this. Do you know some of the names of the influencers who are taking advantage of the conservative youth movement?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so
yeah, use on that
first of all,
line.
I do know the names. I'm not going to repeat them because that only makes them and their little irrelevant circle bigger. But and here, so yes, there's a couple thoughts. So Bonnie, I'll tell you this. So as soon as you were reading your question, this is how intimately familiar I am with this. As soon as you said, well, my son had his eyes open during COVID, I could tell the cadence of the question. I wrote in our chat, her son has probably become in depth in anti-Semitic stuff. I knew it before you even asked the question, Bonnie. And that's not a criticism. It's just we're seeing so much of this. And so this is a huge challenge because, of course, we should question and we should find baseline truth. However, if you dig so deep past foundational reality, you start to, all of a sudden, it becomes very transgressive. It's addictive because it becomes so taboo. And so, for example, Holocaust denial is illegal.
For the people that watched him, y'all ain't see this coming. See, it's a difference, yo, I guess, between, like, black America and white America. You know, y'all didn't never, for the people that supports him, y'all ain't think this day was coming, ever. Y'all gotta talk to y'all black friends, man. If I followed y'all, knowing what I know about how things work, I'd have seen this coming. I'd have seen this coming. Because I didn't seen it before. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't so much about what he says. It's about the support that he garners. You know what I mean? I done seen this before. Yo, they did it to Malcolm X. They did it to Martin Luther King. Yo, you can't get bigger than the program. That's why it's the title. Yo, nobody's bigger than the program, man. He thought, and I'm not happy this happened to him. I think it's disgusting. But I'm just saying, yo, you can't get bigger than the program, yo. Not in the United States of America. Not in the United States of America, man. It don't work that way. You're gonna make some people angry. Now, they're gonna try to pass this off as a lone shooter, but You know, I think we got sense over here. I think most of us, we've been in this country long enough. I think most of us got sense.
In Europe. Should it be illegal? No. Is it repulsive from the pit of hell?
Leave aside
yes. And this is a major challenge with, it's mostly young white men. I'm guessing that your son's a white man, I'm guessing. And one of the, yeah, okay, just shot in the dark. Now, one of the reasons why it's a challenge for young white conservative disposed men is because they feel as if they have to keep on peeling back the onion to find a conspiracy when in reality there might not always be one. And sometimes you're searching in the wrong direction.
Yeah, security.
Social media then pushes it.
And security can't really do shit when it's a sniper on the roof. This is security right here. It's the same guy that was in the last video. Security does nothing, yo, when you talk about a sniper on the roof. You know what I mean? He ain't had a Secret Service. Shit, they tried to get Trump. I forgot the Trump assassination. Trump just was lucky. Trump just was lucky. Look, same situation.
Clorox Sentiva cleans like Clorox.
Yeah, it is a little strange. It is a little strange, Trey.
Trusted clean.
Y'all ain't never see all the deaths surrounding around
Clorox
the Clintons? Y'all ain't never watched that video?
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. Oh.
Yeah, they shot at him 3 times. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, they shot this man 8 times, man. Still shooting. That's probably
if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. Oh.
Yeah, them other shots came from different guns. Yeah, they got him. They missed Trump. Trump got missed. That's why Trump ain't down. Yeah, I think they killed the dude that didn't that dude get killed? Yo, y'all ain't never seen this? Yo, politics is dirty, man. They probably took it off the internet. The Clintons' body count, 50 plus suspicious deaths. 10 tragic deaths linked to the Clintons. Look at this, y'all.
10 mysterious deaths surrounding the Clinton family. The Clinton family has long been a subject of fascination, not just for their political influence, but also for the numerous mysterious deaths that have occurred within their circle. While many of these incidents have logical explanations, others have fueled widespread rumors and conspiracy theories. Here are 10 of the most shocking and intriguing cases. Fact number 1. Vince Foster, the White House counsel's tragic end. Vince Foster, a prominent Arkansas lawyer, had been a close personal friend and colleague of both Bill and Hillary Clinton for many years. Appointed deputy White House counsel in 1993, Foster became a key figure in the early Clinton administration, but he reportedly struggled with the immense pressures of his position. On July 20, 1993, Foster's body was discovered in Fort Marcy Park, Virginia, with a gunshot wound to the head. His death was officially ruled a suicide, but conspiracy theories quickly emerged, partly because of his proximity to the Clintons and his involvement in controversial matters like the Whitewater scandal.
I don't know.
Foster had confided to friends that he was overwhelmed by the political firestorms surrounding the administration. Despite several investigations affirming the suicide conclusion, skeptics continue to question the circumstances, citing alleged inconsistencies in the autopsy report and the treatment of evidence. His office was allegedly searched by Clinton aides shortly after his death, fueling speculation about what Foster might have known. Number 2. Seth Rich, a political operative's sudden demise. Seth Rich, a 27-year-old staffer at the Democratic National Committee, DNC, was shot and killed on July 10, 2016, in Washington, D.C. While police concluded that it was a botched robbery,
The only reason I'm showing y'all this, your politics get greasy. It's dirty as a motherfucker. We talking about big business, y'all. Yo, whenever money is involved, like millions of dollars, money, power, influence, shit get dangerous.
he found the circumstances suspicious, particularly as Rich's wallet, watch, and phone were left untouched. Around the same time, WikiLeaks had begun releasing damaging emails from the DNC, and rumors surfaced that Rich might have been the source of the leaks. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange fueled these speculations by cryptically suggesting that Rich could have been connected to the leaks, though he stopped short of directly confirming it.
Killed his ass.
No solid evidence has ever linked Rich to the emails or WikiLeaks, and investigations by both the FBI and police concluded it was a random street crime. Nevertheless, conspiracy theories persist, especially in the wake of political tensions during the 2016 U.S. election. Rich's death became a touchstone for debate over political corruption and media manipulation. Number 3. Ron Brown, the Commerce Secretary's fatal flight. Ron Brown was a highly influential figure as the Secretary of Commerce under President Bill Clinton. On April 3, 1996, Brown died in a plane crash while on an official trip to Croatia. The crash was ruled an accident, but many found Brown's death suspicious due to his deep involvement in controversial financial dealings that allegedly implicated the Clintons. Further fueling theories, a military pathologist reportedly observed a circular wound on Brown's skull, which some speculated might have been a bullet hole. The possibility of foul play was quickly dismissed, with official reports attributing the wound to blunt force trauma from the crash. However, Brown had been under investigation for corruption, leading some to suspect that he might have been eliminated to prevent him from testifying. Brown's financial difficulties and his significant role in both the Clinton administration and various global deals only deepened speculation. Number 4. James McDougal, the Whitewater scandal informant. James McDougal was a central figure in the Whitewater real estate scandal, a failed investment deal that embroiled the Clintons in a long-running legal investigation. Once a close associate and business partner of the Clintons, McDougal later became a key witness for the prosecution, agreeing to testify about his dealings with the Clintons.
Oh, shit.
In March 1998, while serving a prison sentence for fraud, McDougal died suddenly from an apparent heart attack at the Federal Correctional Institution in Fort Worth, Texas. His death occurred just as he was expected to provide critical testimony against the Clintons, raising suspicions about the timing.
Heart attack?
Some speculated that McDougal had been deliberately denied necessary medical care, or even silenced, to protect powerful interests. Rumors swirled that his cooperation posed a direct threat to Bill and Hillary Clinton's political futures. Number 5. Mary Mahoney, the Starbucks murders. Mary Catherine Mahoney, a former White House intern, was brutally murdered in a Starbucks coffee shop in Washington, D.C., on July 6, 1997. Mahoney, along with 2 other employees, was shot execution-style during what was officially described as a robbery, but no money was taken. Mahoney had been involved in a lawsuit related to sexual harassment in the Clinton administration and was rumored to have been preparing to come forward with allegations against President Clinton. The highly suspicious nature of the murders, combined with the political context, led to widespread speculation that Mahoney's death was an assassination intended to silence her. The case remains unsolved, and though police later arrested and convicted a suspect for the crime, doubts about the true motives persist. Number 6. Jerry Parks, the private investigator with secrets. Jerry Luther Parks, the head of security for the Clinton-Gore campaign headquarters in Arkansas, was murdered on September 26, 1993.
Should be going
Parks
on
was
for
shot
years,
multiple
man.
times in his car while driving through Little Rock. His death.
All these people are civilians. Like, what's the odds of all these civilians that's connected to these people just being murdered out the blue? Like, yo, this is politics, y'all. Dirty. They don't get no dirtier, man.
Death came just months after Vince Foster's and in the midst of various Clinton-related scandals. Park's son claimed that his father had been compiling a dossier on Bill Clinton's extramarital affairs and other potentially damaging information. According to the son, Parks had expressed concerns for his safety in the weeks leading up to his murder. His death remains unsolved, and many believe that his knowledge of the Clinton secrets may have played a role in his killing. Conspiracy theorists have linked his murder to a broader cover-up involving other mysterious deaths connected to the Clintons. Number 7.
That's all I'm saying.
John Ashe, the UN official's weighty death. John Ashe, a former president of the United Nations General Assembly, died on June 22, 2016, at his home in Westchester County, New York. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental, with Ashe reportedly crushed by a barbell while lifting weights. However, Ashe's death came at a particularly sensitive time, as he was facing federal corruption charges and was scheduled to testify in a case involving a Chinese businessman who had ties to the Clinton Foundation. The suspicious timing of Ashe's death, combined with its bizarre nature, led to speculation that it may not have been an accident at all. Some theorized that Ashe had been silenced.
Yo, come on, yo. Look how big and strong this man is, yo. He ain't know how much weight he can lift. Yo, he probably worked out frequently. He ain't know how much weight he can lift. Get the fuck out of here, man. That's some rookie shit.
Our nature led to speculation that it may not have been an accident at all. Some theorized that Ashe had been silenced before he could reveal damaging information in court. Despite the lack of concrete evidence supporting foul play, the case remains a topic of intrigue. Number 8. Paul Tully, the Democratic strategist's mysterious passing. Paul Tully, a senior Democratic strategist and close advisor to Bill Clinton, was found dead in his hotel room in Little Rock, Arkansas, on September 24, 1992. Tully, who played a key role in Clinton's presidential campaign, was only 48 years old, and his death was attributed to a heart attack. Given the timing, just weeks before the election, rumors circulated that Tully's death might have been more than just a natural occurrence. As a key figure in shaping Clinton's political strategy, Tully had intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the campaign. His sudden death led some to speculate that it was orchestrated to prevent certain information from becoming public.
Right.
However, no evidence of foul play has ever surfaced, and his death remains officially classified as natural. Number 9. Danny Casolaro, the investigative journalist's suicide. In August 1991, journalist Danny Casolaro was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Martinsburg, West Virginia, with his wrists slashed multiple times. His death was ruled a suicide, but his family and friends vehemently disagreed with this conclusion. Casolaro had been investigating a sprawling conspiracy he referred to as the Octopus, which he believed tied together various scandals, including the Iran-Contra affair, government corruption, and the Clintons. At the time of his death, Casolaro had reportedly been on the verge of completing his investigation, and his notes and research materials were missing from his hotel room.
I bet they was.
This led to widespread speculation that Casolaro had been murdered to prevent him from exposing the alleged conspiracy.
Was missing, right?
His death remains one of the more mysterious cases connected to the Clintons. Number 10. Victor Razor 2, the campaign fundraiser's fatal plane crash. Victor Razor 2, an influential fundraiser for Bill Clinton's 1992 presidential campaign, died in a plane crash in Alaska on July 30, 1992. Razor, who had been deeply involved in managing Clinton's campaign finances, was on a fishing trip when the small plane he was traveling in crashed under unclear circumstances. While the crash was officially ruled an accident, the timing of Razor's death, just months before Clinton's election, raised suspicions among conspiracy theorists. They speculated that Razor may have had inside knowledge about questionable campaign fundraising practices, which made his sudden death appear convenient. Though no evidence has emerged to support these claims, Razor's death remains a subject of speculation.
Man, I just been trying to show y'all, yo, this is politics, man. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game, yo. It's a dirty, dirty game, yo. That shit crazy. Yo, I want to talk about this Charlotte situation. Ready to switch gears. Charlotte subway stabbing. Yo, this is like a wild ass story. Like, what the fuck was this nigga? What the fuck was yo thinking? They ain't gonna show the whole video, is it? Gangsters definitely run the world. Where she at, all the way up there? Nah, this ain't no distraction. I played this because he did an interview from the jail phone. He did an interview from the jail phone. I ain't save it.
So you said something in your body did what?
Nah, the material, put it like this, the material using my body to stab the lady.
And so she just got stabbed.
Yeah. You know that's not me. I'm talking about just for no reason. But since they did that, now they got to investigate the material in my body exposed to. Since they want to do all that, now they got to investigate.
It's funny because she's from the Ukraine. She's from Russia, and you know they got a war. They had a war going on against the United States. So I'm just trying to understand, out of all people, why her?
It ain't. I don't have nothing. They just lashed out on her. That's what happened. They lashed out on her.
Yeah, he got some mental health problems.
What?
So you said something in your body.
Man, he tripping. That's crazy. He killed that girl for nothing, man.
In the red hoodies on the right side of your screen. He appears to be maybe a little emotional, perhaps a little agitated, but nothing disruptive. There's nothing that gets anyone's attention. About 30 seconds later, Irina Zarutska boards. She's wearing a hat and a t-shirt from a pizzeria, and she sits in the row in front of Brown. She has earbuds in and is looking at her phone. She too is just minding her own business. They ride along for around 4 minutes with nothing unusual happening. Then around 9:50 p.m., Brown reaches into a pocket. We've zoomed in on it here. He pulls out a pocket knife. No one notices a thing. Seconds later, he would stand up, and from behind, unprovoked, as we stop the video,
he would stab the young woman several times. She had no chance to defend herself. The attack was over in seconds, and when it was over, Brown walked through the train attempting to get off. In the red hoodies on the right side of your screen. He appears to be maybe one of the few passengers, if any, at first realized what had happened, until they noticed drops of blood on the floor. 90 seconds after the attack, a bystander rushes down to begin lending aid to Zarutska. She would die from her injuries. 30 seconds later, 9:52 p.m., 6 minutes into the video, Brown leaves the light rail. The video here shows us just how quickly things happened and how difficult it would have been to prevent once he got on the train. And that is an important part to all of this. From what we've been told, Brown never should have been on the train. Authorities tell WBTV he did not buy a ticket. Kat says it is working on ways to keep fare skippers off mass trains.
Yeah, that is wild, y'all. We living in some wild times in the world, y'all. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on for real. Living in some wild times, y'all. I don't know. I don't know, man. No, she didn't know she was cut. She didn't know she was cut. You know, adrenaline is a motherfucker. Like, it probably took her a while for her to realize what the fuck was going on. I don't know, y'all. I think we live in some wild times. I gotta get ready to take my... It's fucking 2:30. God damn it, y'all. Gotta get up in 3 hours. Yo, make sure I hit that like button. Make sure y'all share the live. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like I said, y'all, I probably agreed with nothing that dude said. What's his name? Kirk. I don't even remember his name. I'm fucking tired. But I don't think you deserve to be killed for your political views, man. But this is America. And he ain't the first one. And he damn sure ain't gonna be the last. And you know, when you choose to go that route, you just gotta know what come with it, man. Gotta know what come with it, y'all. It's fucked up. Sad reality. Man got kids, got a wife. Shit crazy. It do seem like it's always Republicans. Definitely does seem that way. Definitely does. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but it definitely does seem that way, man. Definitely does. At least in the last couple of years, anyway. Shit crazy. You know, because it's about power, y'all. I mean, you know, that's all Democrat, Republican. They fighting over power, y'all. Power is a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Power's the motherfucker, man. Power, influence, the narrative. They beef over that shit. Money. You know, power equals money. It all boils down to control. It all boils down to money, right? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yo, make sure y'all share the live, hit that like button. It's another day of KBG News. Greed is another one.